As a content creator, sometimes it gets hard to listen to advice on the internet because you don't really know what is helpful and what is noise. Thankfully, one of the best content creators in the space gave college lectures, and I watched all of them so that you wouldn't have to. Also, PS, this video is late, I know, but I really wanted to take my time to things, and also I'm busy in life, so yeah, let's go! If you guys don't know, this is Ludwig. He's a pretty successful content creator, and he attended an event called Streamer University, or Streamer U, which allowed streamers from all over the world to come and be taught by veteran streamers. Now, Ludwig was actually a teacher at this event and even won Best Professor, so I think it's safe to say that we can listen to his advice. And generally, his advice comes down to 3 different topics. But first, let's watch.
And I got one more surprise for you all. Okay. Most of you will fail. God. Guys, most of you are gonna fail.
Whoa. Yep. In every single class that Ludwig gave, he starts out by telling the streamer students that 1, they are already at the top 1% of Twitch, most likely. That statistically, they beat out most of Twitch because they have streamed more than 1 time, that's already the top 8%. And if they have more than 20 viewers, which they likely did because of the Streamer U category, then they were already the top 1%. And despite all of that, we're still likely to fail. That despite this giant event that is Streamer U and this great opportunity that thousands of these students had, for most of them, it wouldn't mean a thing for their long-term growth. And this leads me to the first topic that Ludwig generally covers, and that is called motivation mastery. Motivation mastery is figuring out what you're doing specifically and why you're doing it. Ludwig makes a good point out of this because after telling you that, hey, you probably won't make it, he asks, why are you doing it? Do you actually want to be a streamer? Or do you just want to be rich and have the life of a top streamer? After deciding if you want to be in this life of streaming, next, Ludwig gave a little assignment to everyone, and I encourage you to do it as well. What are your goals as a streamer? Can you answer that? What streaming schedule will you have? It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be short, it doesn't have to be every day, it just has to be consistent. Who are your GOATs? Like, who do you look up to in terms of their streaming? Not just because they're popular, but because you personally look up to them and want to maybe emulate them in some way. Now, if you can, do it right now. Like, for 5 minutes. Pause this video, just go and do and write something. All right, so did you do it? If you didn't, at least during Ludwig's class, then according to him, you probably should just quit. Like, if your goal is to be successful and you didn't do these questions or assignments that Ludwig gave, it's probably for the best that you just quit. Now, this may sound harsh, but the logic behind it is very clear. If you don't care enough to try, to write down some simple goals and put a little work when someone is trying to help you and tells you to, hey, write down some goals, hey, write down some schedule, then why do you think that you will be successful? If you don't care enough to put in the work, who will? Because it's not your viewers who will care enough, or it's not your professors or teachers who will care enough. It has to be you who cares enough. Now, this is a bit of a reality check. Because yes, people at Streamer U have reached a certain level of streaming, generally speaking, because of the fact that they're in this event. They're already at the top 1% of Twitch, and yet they still will likely fail. And this isn't out of the norm. In fact, failure is the norm. You see, another thing that Ludwig mentions about motivation is that falling off will happen to everyone. Don't believe him?
We have some good news. We got some stuff that we can relish in. It's not all bad. Everyone falls off, okay? This is not a unique experience that we are going through because of Streamer U. Everybody experiences this.
Yeah, so the framework here is that in terms of your reputation or your notoriety against time, it's normal to just fall off. Even the top of YouTube looked very different from 20 years ago to 10 years ago to now. And falling off is just something that will happen. But maybe it's better if we don't call it fall it off. Maybe we just call it entropy, or maybe we call it just the passage of time, right? But hey, if you don't want to fall off, if you want to keep growing and keep making a living out of your content, well, how to grow is what we'll cover next, and that is the gold mine strategy. Ludwig did some actual teaching as well, not just life advice, not just telling him about his experiences. He gave expertise befitting Mr. Best Professor of Streamer U. And this was preparation when it comes to streaming. He tackles his streams a bit differently in that one, he actually thinks about them in advance by ideating his stream ideas and having a plan on what he will do on that stream on that day for different portions of the stream. And two, he treats different segments of the streams as recording segments for his YouTube videos. And I personally love this a lot because for streaming, it's kind of easy to just turn on the live button, stream for hours, and end doing whatever you wanted, right? And that does work. There are people who can just do what they want when they're live. But as a strategy for someone specifically growing, Ludwig calls out that actually sometimes you can stream too much, which is advice that is refreshing compared to just stream every day, just keep going at it. In fact, he says that 4 to 6 hours per stream is the sweet spot of not too short but not too long, which is tangible, specific advice that streamers can listen to. Now, going back to how he says that streams should be thought of as more recording segments for YouTube videos, Ludwig really values and categorizes himself more as a guy who streams mainly for the YouTube video as opposed to streaming for like the clip. The long form content is easy to him. And when it comes to YouTube videos specifically, he has a lot to say. But before that, let's play a little game. You see these two thumbnails, right? Which one of them performed a little better? Like, I mean, what do you think performed a little better? I'll give you guys 5 seconds. Yup, it's this one. We can nitpick all day about why that is the case, about why this thumbnail is better. But ultimately, a thumbnail is something you make to get views, to get clicks. Whichever one looks better to you doesn't actually matter. It's what the viewers will ultimately click that matters. So even if this one looks good, and maybe to some of you, it looks like a better thumbnail, if this one gets more clicks, that's all that matters. But the mindset here is that you could maybe get an easier thumbnail using AI, but viewers ultimately turn away from the use of AI. Or you might say that this thumbnail is more artistic and maybe it makes sense, like this one looks better, but it doesn't really matter because all that matters is getting clicks. And by the way, if you guys didn't know, you can use A/B testing for your YouTube thumbnails, testing 2 thumbnails at the same time so that you have some data about after the fact which of these thumbnails are better for that video. But how do I know beforehand, not just after the fact? How do I know which thumbnail will work? Because I'm putting all this effort into making the thumbnail, I don't know which one's better, right? This was a question that was asked by students. Now let me introduce you, or well, let Ludwig introduce you to the Michael Reeves method. You blur it up, you zoom it out, then boom, which one is better? Which one is easier to understand? As an amateur myself, this one still stands out to me because it's easier to make out what is going on even when blurred and even when zoomed out. And zoomed out is important because you're gonna view the thumbnails from most people from their phone and they're gonna be really small. They'll only scroll through it really quickly, which is why having it as a blur also makes sense because you don't actually get to see all the details when you're just scrolling, right? Okay, maybe now you understand how to thumbnail, but what about titles? What about video ideas? What actually goes into the video itself? And I'm gonna come in real close for this, so okay. So, the secret sauce is steal it. Yep. One of the biggest content creators in the space just gave you the license to steal. Steal titles, steal video ideas, steal formats, steal it all. Why? Ultimately because there are a ton of good ideas out there, good in the sense that they are working, they function, people like them. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel here. If it works, if people like it, just do it. But he doesn't mean steal it one for one. Don't copy the video ideas directly. But for titles, you can steal a title, then repackage the title for your context, like what he did here with I Accidentally.
I saw this and I thought, that's fun, how I accidentally. I made a video called How I Accidentally Won a Chess Tournament. That got 5 million views. I thought, that's a lot of views. Let me try that again.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
And again.
Oh, shit.
And I think you get the point. If you have something that works, you can keep doing it. I've accidentally done probably too many things at this point.
And for video ideas, you can take an idea, but make it your own. Steal, then add a twist on how it plays out, a twist on how you present it, a twist on the story. All of this is some way that can be a new idea with an old idea, if that makes sense. Now, as a content creator, this might not feel good because of the idea of stealing. But I like Ludwig's take on this.
When someone steals your idea, congrats, you did well. Do not feel bad about it. Do not be bitter about it. Do not reach out to them about it. It is okay. And here's ultimately the truth. Someone who steals an idea makes you their ceiling. They will not be bigger than you until they do shit better than you. And if all they're doing is mimicking you, then I promise you, they will never surpass you.
And honestly, that's such a valid take, as someone that's giving the advice to steal. Me, myself, as a small content creator, I do want to grow, and I want to learn how to make my own titles or video formats, but learning first from someone else and being able to yoink it and twist it means that I'll get a certain level of quality just by, hey, I already know that this idea kind of might work, but I still have to make it my own, which is the process of me growing, right? And I love this quote. If I have come far, it is because I stand on the shoulders of giants, or in this case, Ludwig. Up until this point, I've been treating every single thing out of Ludwig's mouth as gospel. Have I just been kissing his ass this whole time? Am I just trying to ride the coattails of Mr. Bigger Streamer in hopes that I get some traction? Well, yes, but no, not really, no. Because if you, and if I, disagree with anything that Ludwig has to say, that's okay, because Ludwig says this.
Last thing I want to talk about here, guys. Don't trust me. I am someone who succeeded. To do that, it took a lot of luck. But there's also something known as survivorship bias. I made it now. I can say, guys, just do this, this, this. And I go home into my $1 million mansion. I'm living a good ass life. And you all bought what I said without maybe thinking critically yourself. Do I agree with him? So you don't have to follow the playbook bar for bar as I'm saying it. All right? Trust yourselves, trust your instincts, think critically about what I'm saying. Some things I'm saying maybe you agree with, some things they don't. Don't trust me implicitly, take it all with a grain of salt. Guys.
Ludwig says that you can throw everything that he said out the window because you, at the end of the day, are the one who gets to decide. Now, this is the last general topic that I think Ludwig covers, which I'd like to call humility setting. Ludwig himself says that he's biased because his advice comes from his own experience as a survivor. Acknowledging that as a teacher is one of the things that I like so much about Ludwig. He isn't selling a roadmap. He's teaching his experience, and he knows that. And if his experience doesn't apply to you for XYZ reasons, then that's okay. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to listen to him. You don't have to listen to this video. If it's not helpful to you, then you can just do it your way. Because you are the sauce. You know yourself better than any advice on the internet. And speaking of the internet, another point about humility setting that came as a shock to me is that Ludwig says that your reputation doesn't matter. And this is sort of a tangent to the whole everyone falls off bit. But what does Ludwig mean by this, that your reputation doesn't matter? Well, the internet is a wild, wild west. And while yes, content creating comes with some vulnerability and putting yourself out there for the whole world to see, it doesn't mean that everything the internet says about you and your reputation matters. Your reputation doesn't matter because people can lie about you, clip you out of context, take things that you say and use it to fuel drama. All of these things are ultimately out of your control. How other people think about you, even in the real world and not on the internet, pretty much out of your control. And while yes, you could just not be a dumbass and not do some stupid shit online so that people won't hate you. The truth is that the internet loves to create drama, even with people who are pretty nice and have no dumbassery to speak of, even when there's nothing happening. So, at the end of the day, the important thing isn't really your reputation. The important thing is you and your interpersonal relationships with people that you care about. Are you okay with your friends? Are you okay with your family? If yes, then that's all that really matters. Your reputation itself is ultimately out of your control, and you can't do much about it. And that's okay. And I like this a lot because as people on the internet, perhaps sometimes we forget that before content creators or commenters or viewers, we are just people. People who are trying their best, people who are trying to learn, and people who are trying to make life a little better by working hard or creating content on the internet. I hope you learned something from this video. It took a really long time to make it because I was dawdling around for a really long time. I'm very sorry. But yeah, I really hope that this helped you in some way and somehow. And I'll see you guys next time. And after deciding if you want to still continue streaming, oh god, I'm sneezing. Oh my god, don't put that in the video, please. Yeah. Okay. The secret sauce is steal it. I'm gonna put in the secret ingredient to my secret ingredient soup is nothing. Yeah.